all the time that enter this space. And I swear by what I'm about to tell you. We live very privileged lives when it comes to the money, when it comes to the access, and when it comes to the freedom. And everything in this life has a cost. You're going to pay on the front end or the back end, okay, but you're going to pay.
Now let's be real, no day on the internet is complete without Funky Dineva sliding in with that hot tea, no sugar, no filter. And this time, he did not hold anything back. The situation with Dr. G and Sweet Tea getting dropped from Married to Medicine, according to Funky, wasn't just about low ratings or lack of drama. Nope. This one was personal. Funky believes Sweet Tea wasn't just another cast member. She was used. Plain and simple. He says her whole relationship with Dr. G was dragged onto the show with one main purpose: to go toe-to-toe with Quad. Not to build her own story. Not to let fans get to know her. But to stir the pot and take the heat off someone else. And here's the wild part: Sweet Tea didn't even ask for any of this. One moment, she's just living her life. She slides into Dr. G's DMs, they start dating, get married, and she's thinking she's found her happily ever after. The next thing she knows, she's being thrown onto national TV, right in the middle of drama she didn't even start. Funky said it best: she was collateral damage. And when her storyline didn't blow up like producers hoped, they tossed her aside like she was never supposed to be there in the first place.
We wouldn't have nothing to talk about if you weren't there. You said that, I didn't say it.
Now let's talk about what was really going on behind the scenes. Sweet Tea went live on Mother's Day, and it wasn't just to show love to moms out there. That moment was the first real sign she was mentally stepping away from the show. She talked about needing things to make sense for her. About needing peace. She made it clear it wasn't about fame or chasing more camera time. She wasn't going to keep pretending. The show didn't feel real to her anymore. She said she wanted her journey to mean something. That she shared her story so others could relate and maybe be inspired. But she also let folks know she wasn't going to sell her soul just to stay on a reality show. And honestly, that was already her soft goodbye. Then, in another clip from her live stream, she made it official. She was done. Just 2 seasons in, and Sweet Tea had already decided it wasn't worth the stress. No more Married to Medicine. No more fighting for a storyline. No more pretending everything was fine.
I said, I gotta say something about her, because if not, the fans are gonna attack me.
That was it. Now, while Sweet Tea was moving with grace and keeping things classy, Funky Dineva was on his own live stream spilling everything. Before any official word dropped from the network, Funky told us Sweet Tea and Dr. G weren't coming back. And when Funky talks about reality TV, people listen because he doesn't guess. He has insider sources. He's been around long enough to know when the behind-the-scenes gears are turning. And he didn't just say they were gone, he explained why. And it had nothing to do with boring episodes or viewers losing interest. According to him, Sweet Tea was never meant to be a long-term cast member. She was brought in to shake things up with Quad. That's it. The plan was to use her marriage to Dr. G as a way to cause tension. Producers knew Quad had a history with him. So what better way to stir up old drama than to put his new wife front and center? But here's the twist: Sweet Tea didn't know any of that. She thought she was just coming on as herself, as Dr. G's wife, and maybe even as a new face for fans to get to know. She didn't know she was being set up to be the villain. So when she didn't bring that messy, loud drama producers hoped for, they stopped caring.
You know what? It didn't really quite shock me because I know people's intentions and I see how they move, and I'm not surprised.
Funky broke it down. She didn't pop off, she didn't give them viral moments, and she wasn't fighting just to stay on camera. Instead, she kept it real. And that wasn't what the show wanted. In their eyes, she didn't perform, so they cut her out. Let's not leave Dr. G out of this either. He wasn't just watching all this happen, he was part of it. Now whether you love him, hate him, or just find him confusing, one thing's clear: he had to know what was going on. Funky Dineva says Dr. G knew exactly why he was brought back. It wasn't just to share his growth or let fans see his new marriage. It was about reclaiming attention. Think about it, why would he return to the same show that aired out all the mess with his ex-wife? He knew the producers wanted drama. And even if he didn't create the plan, he didn't stop it either. He let Sweet Tea walk into that storm with no protection. And when the pressure started building,
You dumb. You're dumb. And you put on a white coat.
Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong.
Well, I'm gonna go talk to your bad girl. Leave me alone. Please, you're not better teaching the young women. You want better teaching. You compete and you can never.
Listen.
You can never.
Listen, go worry about that man you got, because I heard he called him smart.
he didn't defend her. He just sat there at the reunion, acting like everything was normal, while Sweet Tea was slowly realizing she had been used. Funky made a strong point: in reality TV, if you're not bringing drama, you're not bringing value. The network wanted Sweet Tea to be fiery, to go back and forth with Quad, to give them those intense moments fans eat up. But that's not who she is. She wasn't trying to be a TV character, she just wanted to be herself. And that's exactly why it didn't work. She didn't want to play their game. And because of that, she was labeled as not entertaining enough. So they let her go. No support. No guidance. Just silence. But here's the good part: Sweet Tea didn't let that break her. After walking away from Bravo, she didn't disappear. She took control of her own story. She's now on YouTube, doing content on her terms, with her voice, and in her own time. She even joined a new group called Dr. Wives of Atlanta, a space that feels more real, more supportive, and way more peaceful. Now she's glowing. She's laughing more. You can tell she's not just surviving, she's finally living. No producers in her ear, no messy edits, no one trying to make her fit into a drama-filled box. She's just being herself, and fans are here for it. Honestly, maybe getting dropped from the show was a blessing in disguise. Because now, she looks happy, healthy, and unbothered. And most importantly, she's finally in control of her own narrative. So after everything Funky Dineva laid out, it's clear this wasn't just a cast shakeup. This was a setup from the start. Sweet Tea was never given a fair chance. She was brought in to serve someone else's storyline. And when that didn't work, they tossed her aside like she never mattered. But guess what? She does matter. And now she's proving it every time she picks up the camera. Let me know what you think in the comments. Was Sweet Tea used by the network? Did Dr. G play a part in how things fell apart? Or was this just a case of reality TV doing what it always does, creating characters, then discarding them when they don't perform? And now that all the tea has been spilled, let's talk about what this really means for Sweet Tea, because this wasn't just a regular reality TV exit. This was a wake-up call, a reminder that not everything on camera is as real as it seems. From the outside, it looked like a fresh start for her. A new marriage, a new platform, and maybe a chance to share her life with the world. But behind the scenes, it was a whole different story. What started as a love story between Sweet Tea and Dr. G quickly turned into a scripted mess designed to spark drama, and it backfired in the worst way. The truth is, Sweet Tea was never given a fair shot. She wasn't brought in to share her personality, her dreams, or her real-life experience as a new wife. She was brought in as a distraction. A chess piece in a much bigger game between Bravo producers and longtime cast member Quad. And when she didn't perform the way they wanted, when she refused to act out, start fights, or create chaos, they tossed her to the side like her presence didn't matter. Let's not sugarcoat it, that hurts. Imagine being invited into a space where you think you're wanted, where you believe you'll be embraced, only to find out you were just being used to make someone else look bad. That's what happened to Sweet Tea. One minute she was celebrating her wedding, glowing in her new role as a wife. The next minute, she was caught up in TV drama she never signed up for. And the worst part? Nobody had her back. Not the network. Not production. Not even her own husband, Dr. G. Funky Dineva called it out. Dr. G knew exactly what time it was. He knew returning to Married to Medicine with a new wife wasn't just about sharing his journey. It was about bringing back familiar faces to stir the pot. The show had history with him and Quad. The tension was already there. All they needed was the perfect storyline, and Sweet Tea was it. Whether Dr. G realized it or not, he allowed Sweet Tea to walk into that setup with no protection. He watched it unfold and never stepped in. And once the story didn't take off, she was cut off. But guess what? She's still standing. She's smiling. And she's finally speaking from a place of truth. Social media is backing her too. One user tweeted, "Sweet Tea deserves better. Reality TV chewed her up and spit her out, but look at her now glowing and unbothered." Another person said, "Funky Dineva didn't miss. Bravo wasn't looking for real. They wanted chaos." And honestly, that says everything. So now that the truth is out, I want to hear from you. Do you think Sweet Tea was treated unfairly by the show? Was she a victim of messy reality TV producers? Or was she just caught in the crossfire of someone else's unresolved issues? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're here, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. Because this might be the end of Sweet Tea's time on Bravo, but trust me, her story is far from over. She's reclaiming her power, one upload at a time. And we're here to watch her rise. Stay tuned, stay real, and I'll catch you in the next one.